Welcome to another Demonic Sweaters live stream. We're going to get started here in a little bit, but before we do, be sure to check out my record label, which is anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. This is the best way to support what I do here on this channel. You can go there and pick up something by Demonic Sweaters or Manasota or basically anything on the entire label. We sell CDs, vinyl, t-shirts, and lots of cool merch that you can check out there, so that's anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. Oh, by the way, did you know that I teach drum lessons? If you're interested in learning more about drum lessons, message me on Instagram at demonic_sweaters. Did you know that almost all of Demonic Sweaters music is available on all the streaming services? You can check it out there if you don't want to buy something. By the way, have you subscribed yet? Please do. Do you want to try to play drums to some of these songs by yourself? You can pick up drumless versions of all of these songs you hear on my streams on the drumless library, which is available at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. It currently has 33 songs for only $15. Each song has the BPM and the time signature listed, so all you have to do is drop them into your DAW of choice, and you can play along just like I do on these streams. That's only $15 for 33 songs. That's a lot of content to practice to. You can also pick up individual songs for $1 a piece, but I highly recommend picking up the full version because every time I add new content to the drumless library, you'll get that 100% for free. All you have to do is return to anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com and you can download all the new songs once you purchase the full-length version. Again, you can pick up the drumless library at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. It's available exclusively there and only there. And please stay tuned. Today's stream will be starting shortly. Welcome to another Demonic Sweaters live stream. We're going to get started here in a little bit, but before we do, be sure to check out my record label, which is anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. This is the best way to support what I do here on this channel. You can go there and pick up something by Demonic Sweaters or Manasota or basically anything on the entire label. We sell CDs, vinyl, t-shirts, and lots of cool merch that you can check out there, so that's anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. Oh, by the way, did you know that I teach drum lessons? If you're interested in learning more about drum lessons, message me on Instagram at demonic_sweaters. Did you know that almost all of Demonic Sweaters music is available on all the streaming services? You can check it out there if you don't want to buy something. By the way, have you subscribed yet? Please do. Do you want to try to play drums to some of these songs by yourself? You can pick up drumless versions of all of these songs you hear on my streams on the drumless library, which is available at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. It currently has 33 songs for only $15. Each song has the BPM and the time signature listed, so all you have to do is drop them into your DAW of choice, and you can play along just like I do on these streams. That's only $15 for 33 songs. That's a lot of content to practice to. You can also pick up individual songs for $1 a piece, but I highly recommend picking up the full version because every time I add new content to the drumless library, you'll get that 100% for free. All you have to do is return to anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com and you can download all the new songs once you purchase the full-length version. Again, you can pick up the drumless library at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. It's available exclusively there and only there. And please stay tuned. Today's stream will be starting shortly. Welcome to another Demonic Sweaters live stream. We're going to get started here in a little bit, but before we do, be sure to check out my record label, which is anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. This is the best way to support what I do here on this channel. You can go there and pick up something by Demonic Sweaters or Minnesota or basically anything on the entire label. We sell CDs, vinyl, t-shirts, and lots of cool merch that you can check out there, so that's anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. Oh, by the way, did you know that I teach drum lessons? If you're interested in... Well, hello, YouTube, Twitch, FC2, Facebook. Here I am, Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, back again with another live stream. And today, I've got a pretty exciting thing I'm going to be doing today. Is actually, I'm using a brand new drum module. And you can see it right here. Well, you can kind of see it. Let's see if you can see it from the overhead cam a little better. Nope. Well, here, I can do this. There it is. This is a Roland TD-11, and I got a really good price on it. And I still have the TD-6. I still love the TD-6. This one is very different. I'm getting used to the sounds, and so today I figured I would try to do a live stream with it, and we'll see how it does. But I'm liking it. I mean, it's definitely more limited than the TD-6 as far as like how many sounds it has. Like it really doesn't have a whole lot of like internal sounds. But that being said, test, my mic is fading. There we go. That being said, the internal sounds are actually quite good for the most part. I would say like 99% of them are very good, very realistic sounding, and just the triggering response on it's really good. And yeah, so I've only had it for a short while. I just got it this weekend. And I wanted to, well, I programmed some I programmed some custom kits into it already, but there's not that many. I can't get a chance to really make a lot. So I have, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 custom kits. I guess that's not bad. I was basically doing it all day yesterday, and came up with some good ones. So I was just doing a little sound check here before I started the stream to see how these kits are going to fit in songs and which songs to use what and all that stuff, because that's always takes a bit of experimentation. I tried to program a couple of them to sound like the ones I had on the TD-6, but there was like 2 more or or to better or worse success on that idea. But I mean, they sound good, but some of them don't sound anything like what I intended them to sound like. The one thing I do notice about this module, out of the box, the preset sounds are not very good. Like, there's a couple that are pretty good, but I would say even on the TD-6, the preset sounds are better than the ones that are on the TD-11. But I think the major problem with it, the reason why the preset sounds are not that great, is because I feel like a lot of them have like the mids scooped out. And if you're not familiar with that term, scooping the mids is like something that like a lot of metal guitarists do. Like, they scoop the mids out of the guitar tone to get that like really like buzzsaw, you know, low end and high end, and then like no mid range. And I feel like the default EQ on the TD-11 is like that. So if you just go in and adjust the EQ, you know, on like whatever patch you're making and bring up some of those mids, it does have a 4-band EQ that's sweepable, which is really nice. And if you increase the mid sounds, then you can actually get some really nice tones out of this thing. So I might as well play one. Let's see. This is one kit that I made. It's called Wide, similar to one that I made on the TD-6. And I think I'm going to use that in a song here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to go ahead and play Taurus. Let me turn on my camera switcher. And shout out in the chat if you're out there. I feel like these streams have really not been getting a lot of views lately. I don't know what's going on. They were doing really good for a while. Maybe I just did it too much. But yeah, if you're out there, let me know. Okay, so scene switcher is going. Switch to stereo. Okay, here we go. This is Taurus off of Driving Songs. Alrighty, that was Taurus off of the Driving Songs EP. And send us out a shout out in the chat if you're out there. Is this thing even working? I see 10 people watching now, but I'm not getting any chats. And I'm using Restream chat, so maybe that's the problem. Or maybe nobody's just chatting. But let me check on YouTube just to be sure. Might get a little echo sound here for a second. Oh yeah, so I am getting chats there. What's going on? That's really strange. So hey, Alden, how you doing? Oh, now I see him in the Restream chat. That's really weird. Okay, so thanks for chatting there. So it is working. My gloves, touchscreen gloves, aren't working so well. Okay, so yeah, that was Taurus off of Driving Songs, and I think the TD-11 sounds pretty nice. There's a couple of things I'm still getting used to. One being the hi-hat, the VH-11 hi-hat. Like this module fully supports it, which the TD-6 kind of half supported it. Like this one gives you like the full range of hi-hat sounds. Like whereas the TD-6 there's only like 3 or something. So yeah, it's like, so sometimes I'm opening up all the way when I really should be doing like a half open sound and vice versa. So getting used to that, and also getting used to the ride sounds on this kit or on the TD-11 are extremely heavy. Like all the ride sounds are like really heavy rides, which is just different. They don't sound bad; they sound pretty nice actually, but it's just, you know, different than the TD-6, whereas like a lot of the rides are kind of washy. Or not washy, but they're just not so heavy sounding. These ones all sound super heavy. Like all the rides sound really heavy. You can actually use a crash, like as a ride, which I did on one of these kits. Where is it? Like right here, I used a crash tip for a ride. Alden says, found your channel the other day researching e-kits. I figured I'd join here and listen for a bit. Dig your channel. Thank you. And Black Thunder, hey there. Thanks for stopping by again. Let's see, what can we play next? Well, I'm on the Insect kit, so I might as well play Insect Politics. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. I'm going to turn it back on stereo. Test, test. There we go. Insect Politics off of 333. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Hello there. Yes, that was fun. Ooh, thanks for the subscribe. Subscribe. Thanks for the sub, Vedgelgahet. It's right on top of something on my screen, so I couldn't really read it too well. But what about the left ear? Was that because when I was talking? You should hear it in both when I'm playing. Whew, kind of winded myself there. That was fun. One thing that's really cool is the expressiveness of the module. You noticed where I was able to do, really hit the rim shot when I wanted to, and then the center when I wanted to. It was picking up everything I wanted, which is really good. And I think that one, the Insect Politics kit, sounds pretty accurate to the original one. It's a little different. This snare I think I need to work on over here a little bit. Sounds a little thin. But I'm sure I can fix that. Let's see what's next. How about a Minnesota song? Let's do As the Sun Rises. Off of As the Sun Rises by Minnesota. Here we go. All right, that was As the Sun Rises off the album As the Sun Rises by Minnesota, which is my other project, if you didn't know that. And let me read some of these comments here. Black Thunder, guitar, yes. More guitar, yes. Yep. Okay, I'll do some more guitar songs. I have several queued up here, so we can stick to some organic instruments. And Leah Hedberg, is that the actual TD-11 sounds? Yes, it is. And hello, everybody. Yeah, I was just talking about that earlier. I think you just joined, but I just got this thing over the weekend. So these are, I mean, it's the sounds from the TD-11, but they're my own programmed kits. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to program it, but yesterday I pretty much spent almost the whole day making kits for it. And I think they sound pretty good. The rides, like I was saying before, are extremely dry and heavy, but they sound cool. You know, it's just, I'm just getting used to it. It's just a different sound than the one that I'm used to. But yeah, I mean, I think the TD-11 is really nice for the money. The only thing, you know, it's just doesn't have a whole lot of internal sounds, but there's a lot of stuff you can tweak. Like there's some stuff in there I haven't seen in other Roland modules. Actually, like if you go into the instrument settings, and go to edit, I really like, well, I have seen this, but there's snare buzz for almost everything. You can turn up and down snare buzz, which actually it really helps increase the realisticness of sounds when there's snare buzz, especially on the toms. Like, well, there I don't have any, but it does. And then, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's this thing called tone color, which I really haven't seen that in other modules. Like I've played with TD-27s and TD-17s, and I've never seen this tone color feature. And it's sort of like an EQ, but it's weird. It's just one adjustment, and it goes from like minus 99 to plus 99 or something like that. And it really seems like it kind of does this whole, like a lot of stuff to the EQ. Like it's really weird. Like if you roll it down, it gets like more low mids and less high, like really highs. And then if you roll it up, it gets highs and more and lower or less low mids. Like, I don't know, it's like a combined EQ setting, which is pretty interesting. It allows you to really change the sound a lot of the sounds in there. But yeah, because there's like not a lot of sounds. Like there's only like 3 ride sounds, I think, 3 or 4. There's really not many. Let's see. Papa Frampton says, just bought the TD-15 last week in mint condition. Should be here soon. Oh, very cool. Yeah, the TD-15 is like the upgraded version of the TD-11. They came out at the same time. And it has more effects and stuff like that. But I considered one of those too, but I got such a good deal on this. I was just like, yeah, whatever, I'll give it a shot. But I do have the TD-6 still. I just made a whole other like group of patches for the TD-6. So I'm going to hook it back up pretty soon and then make a video on that so you guys can download those, all the TD-6 users out there. Because I do still really like the TD-6. Like it just has like a lot of sounds in it. And let's see. Leah says they sound really nice. Good work. Thank you. And the song you played was really nice as well. Thanks a lot. I assume it's like dual shelf in the middle that increases, decreases opposite side of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly. Like I said, I haven't seen it on any of the other Roland modules. Maybe the TD-15 has it. Okay, so let's do more guitar. All right, we'll do some more Minnesota. Well, yeah, let's do another Minnesota song. There's one I like to play here, and I'm going to try a different kit on this one. Which one am I going to use here? This is the first one I programmed, and I really like the sound of this one. I just called it Deep J. There's one snare sound in this module that I really like a lot. It's this one. It's called, I think it's called 7-inch steel or something like that. It's got it sounds really nice in the music, you'll hear. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to do Gemstone off of As the Sun Rises by Minnesota. Gemstone by Minnesota, my other project. And yeah, some pan flute going on there, says Saint Shamrock. And thanks for the comments. And Papa Frampton, thanks so much for the donation. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. That's really awesome. Let's see what else I missed here. The difference between the TD-15 and 11 is astronomical. If you get a good deal on the 15, consider it. Yeah, totally. These older modules don't have the underwater toms, which I love. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Underwater toms. But that's cool. That module is a huge step up from the TD-6 in sound quality. Everything is much newer, less compressed, and punchy and clean. Yeah, it sounds. I mean, I still really like the TD-6 though, honestly. But I do like this a lot. It's definitely has is more expressive, like from like the way it triggers. You know, when I'm playing the drums, I definitely have a lot more dynamics than I do on the TD-6, especially on the hi-hats and on the ride. And here, this actually does support a 3-zone ride cymbal, whereas the TD-6, I was kind of faking it. You know, I was using one of the tom inputs for the bell zone, and then using the regular ride input for the other 2 zones. But yeah, it just has enough. That's another thing with the TD-11. It's not a ton of inputs. It has like just enough for my kit. Like, there's no more expansion slots. But I could do dual zones on the toms if I wanted to. And I did put some dual zone triggers on there just to try it, but I wasn't liking the trigger response as much as the red shots, so I put the red shots back on. But I'm fine with that. I mean, this is enough for me. It's totally cool. Love what it looks like with the original red PD-120. Well, I haven't seen one of those since the late 2000s. Yeah, this thing's great. You know, you can find these for super cheap too, and like it's a great snare drum. The internal trigger is really nice. It's got the nice rim zone. And another thing too is on my TD-6, it was difficult to get the rim sensitive enough, like with pretty much every trigger I ever tried. But here it's totally fine. Like I could even increase the sensitivity more if I wanted to. Like there's more headroom. And the hi-hats too. I think the hi-hats actually perform better on here than they did when I had the TD-27. The TD-27, I constantly had problems with the hi-hats on that module. It was weird. Like I remember one time doing a live stream and I was recording during the live stream and I kept having issues with it not triggering correctly. And maybe because it's a TD-11 and those are doing like the TD-12 now and the TD-10. And so maybe that's why I was having an issue. But this is actually, you know, has a TD-11 actual setting in it, so it works perfectly with it. Let's keep it going. Let's see what's next. I'll keep the guitar theme going on here. I have one. How about fan favorite, Ice Cream Pirate? So here we go. Ice Cream Pirate off of, what is this on? Can You Draw Me? Here we go. All right, that was Ice Cream Pirate off of Can You Draw Me from 2020? They're blurring all together now. Yeah, I think so. It wasn't that long ago. But yeah, that one's always been a lot of fun to play. I've recorded so many different versions of that song. There's various videos of it if you go through the channel. But yeah, it's always a blast to play that song. It's just high energy. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, what's next here? How's everybody doing out there? Black Thunder, I can see why that's a fan favorite. Yeah. Everybody, like, when I get requests of my own stuff, that's usually the one that people want to hear. Because it's just a rocker. You know, it's kind of crazy. Papa Frampton says I have a white one, talking about the PD-120. And I replaced both the cone and the two piezos. Oh, nice. I think this one might have had the cone replaced before I got it. It seems like a brand new cone in there, which is cool. And Papa Frampton had to leave. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for the thumbs up, Saint Shamrock. And mate, you're too good to stream to only 10 people. Oh, thanks. I really appreciate that. You need 10 times that easy. Thank you. Share it. Help me out. It's cool though. I mean, even 10 people here, I'm super appreciative. It's very cool to have anybody watching. You know, the streams I notice they get a lot more views after the fact. I think because a lot of people are at work and stuff. I have to stream early in the day because it's like the only time I can really play drums here at home. Even though the electronic drums are still kind of noisy, you know, so I have to be very selective as to when I'm playing, and then other days I'm teaching. And so, you know, this is really Tuesdays at 1:30 are probably not the most optimal time to be streaming, but, you know, whatever. It's fun. So let's see what's next on the list here. What did I practice? There was a couple that I practiced that I tried these sounds to. We already did Taurus. We did Insect Politics. I could do Pathways, but I feel like I play that one a lot. Oh, let's do some new ones. Okay, let's do Leandro. I really like that one off the new album. Happy 99, Leandro. Here we go. Alrighty, that was Leandro off the new album Happy 99. I know that one's synth heavy. You're asking for guitars, but we'll get back to some guitar stuff. Got a little ambitious with the fills there, but I think I mostly pulled it off. Let's see. Black Thunder says, have you made or considered making a percussion-only song, no synths, other instruments, just excessive drum kit? Well, I actually have made some full-blown Brazilian percussion songs, just percussion. And actually, those songs, they're on. If you go back through my discography, there's an album called Coruja, which is a Portuguese word for owl. And that was when I was actually traveling to Brazil a couple of times, and I learned some, I had some drums that I got down there and learned some things from the locals and stuff, and just picked up on some drumming. And I recorded a few. Well, the original idea was I was going to make a whole album like that, like batucada, like samba stuff with all samba drums. And I managed to record like a few songs, but I kind of ran out of ideas, and so the album ended up being half that and then half other stuff. So it's actually a pretty interesting album. If I still had the master files of that, I would try to play some of those songs on these streams, but it's so long ago when I did that. It was like 2009 or something. But yeah, check it out. It's called Coruja. It's on anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. And what I was going to say is those all percussion songs, those Brazilian percussion songs, I've made the most money off of those tracks than I have any other music that I've ever made, because they've been used in like several commercials. Like there's like like a Brazilian rum. Like it was funny, like it was actually being licensed by companies in Brazil. But I'm not Brazilian, but I made it. And they liked it enough to use it in their commercials. And I think it got used in Mexico a few times, in Europe. And so, yeah, that's always, there's one called Batucada, Florida, that has been used in a lot, I think at this point, probably 10 different commercials, which is pretty nice, I need to check that, actually. I haven't checked to see what my balance is in a while, so I probably am due a payment. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not like you make a ton of money, but pretty decent, It's definitely a nice bonus every now and then. I remember one time when I first started, it wasn't even that long after I did those songs. They started getting licensed right away. And I remember one time I was still living in Florida, and I had this piece of shit truck that I was driving. It was like a GMC, and that thing was like a nightmare. I mean, it looked nice, but never buy a GMC. They are just hunks of fucking garbage. Excuse my language, but yeah, they are. But anyway, it it needed the new tires, and the tires were incredibly expensive on this thing. I had come from a Corolla where they were super cheap. They were basically $60 to $99 each. And then on that stupid GMC, whatever it was, truck, Sonoma, they were $250 each. It was so dumb. And they just weren't worth it at all. But anyways, I was freaking out because I needed new tires, and right at the right time that money came through for that song, and I just really lucked out. And I was sweet. So I was able to buy my new tires from a song, which was great. Let's see. What is next? What can we do here? But yeah, I have done all percussion stuff. It's a lot of fun to do. I love Brazilian percussion. It's just really, really cool, infectious music. It's just a lot of fun. How about, let's go back to some guitar rock. What can we do? How about Helicopter Cop? I always mess that up. And actually, there's not even guitar in that anyways. What else? Escort, Fiero. Escort is kind of like an 80s rocker. We can do that. Do I have a kit that'll work with that? I think I do. How about this one? That's pretty good. All right, let's do this. We'll do Fiero. Haven't done that one in a while. Or wait, did I say Fiero or Escort? Escort, that's what I meant. Escort. Here we go. And this is off the Driving Songs EP again. Escort. All right. Hey, thank you so much, Mark, for the support there. That's awesome. That was Escort off of the Driving Songs EP, which you can download at antihillrecordings.bandcamp.com, like all this stuff. And speaking of that, I forgot to plug all my crap. If you want to get drumless versions of all these songs, you can do so, and you can play along to them if you want. There's a huge collection of drumless songs at antihillrecordings.bandcamp.com, and you can download that. It's only $15. I think now it's up to like 40 tracks or 50. It's a lot of songs. A lot of songs. And they all have the time signatures and the BPM listed in the song titles, so you can just drop them in your DAW, sync it up with a click, and play along. And feel free to post them and all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, all those are there, as well as all this music you're hearing. You can download the regular versions, and you can stream it all on Spotify. So follow me on Spotify. Spotify. That's what it's called. And Apple Music and all that stuff. You know the thing that's weird about streaming stuff? Let me read some of these comments. Black Thunder says, I'm more of a bass than drums guy, but you might change my mind on that. I love bass, too. I love my new bass. That thing is so cool, the Area Pro 2 that I found in the trash. And thanks again, Mark Harrison, for the support there. That is super, super awesome of you. What was I saying? About Spotify and the streaming services. The one thing, I'm realizing it's like impossible to find your stats on like basically anything but Spotify and Apple Music. Like I know stuff streams everywhere else, but it's really, really hard to find information on that stuff. I'm noticing. I will also notice that, or want to say that I've listened to myself on iHeartRadio, like their mix, like the station for Demonic Sweaters on iHeartRadio. And out of all the different streaming services, that one is the best because like all the song, like sometimes I'll do like a radio, I'll just see what it does, to check how Apple Music will match me up with other bands. And like Apple Music, I think does the worst. Even though I like Apple Music a lot, but for like my music, it always plays stuff that sounds nothing like Demonic Sweaters or even close, just weird. I don't know. I mean, I know Demonic Sweaters covers a lot of ground, but the general underlining theme to all of it is kind of experimental, and a little bit quirky. And I think iHeartRadio matches me up really well with, I don't even know, like half the stuff I'm hearing on there. I'm like, who are all these people making this awesome music? Like, it's like, kind of like what I'm doing, I can look and figure it out. But I mean, sometimes I just put it on, my Amazon, what's that thing called? Echo Dot, and just listen while I'm in the bathroom or in the kitchen or something like that. And I hear a lot of really interesting stuff. Let's see. Epic Growly Sub Bass, My Beloved. What is that in regards to? The Area Pro 2? Yeah, I don't know that, but yeah, that thing is really cool. I've been using it. The new stuff I'm working on now, since I just did a full album of like synthy stuff, now I'm working on another full album of guitar and vocals and bass and drums and very traditional rock type instruments. There's some synth on there too. But the new stuff that I'm doing, I posted one single so far. That one called Apple on a Tree, and if you haven't heard that yet, check it out. I should play it, but I didn't have a chance to make a drumless version. You have to play to it. But it has vocals and guitar and stuff, and all the new stuff is kind of in that vein where it's kind of like Sonic Youthy, experimental guitar, noisy. And the new track I'm working on, I'm super excited about it. Like it's one of the, I hate to you always sound like a moron when you like praise your own stuff, but like it's just one of those things when I'm like recording and I'm like, this is so cool. Like, because like the guitars and everything, they just have that noisy 90s, like vibe to it that I just really love that stuff. And Earth Asylum, the one that I did, the last fully rock album that I did, had vocals and stuff. And it was kind of 90s, but it was more on like the grunge, type vibe and stuff. And this one, the newer stuff that I'm working on is more in like the kind of noise rock, experimental, subgenres. And I think it's going to be really cool. I'm really digging it. So anyway, check out Apple on a Tree if you haven't seen that yet. New video that I posted. And it's not on anything yet. It's just a single, but you can stream it too. Anyway, let's do another song. How about, I can do one off of Earth Asylum, which is the other rock, grungy type thing that I did. And this song is called Rot, and this is another one where I've had good feedback on too. I know Daniel from DistroKid actually messaged me and told me how much he liked this song, which was really cool. That was really nice. I felt really flattered that somebody from DistroKid was actually giving me a compliment. But anyway, let's go ahead and play that. This is Rot, and this is off of Earth Asylum. All right, that was Rot off of Earth Asylum. Earth Asylum, if you were having trouble finding that one for a while, the reason why is because, well, for a while there, I was like, you know, I recorded that album. It was all guitars, and there was vocals on almost the whole thing. And I was like, this doesn't really sound like the last 4 or 5 Demonic Sweaters albums at all. So I was like, I'm going to just rename it to Earth Asylum, you know, as the band and have it be self-titled. So I had it out there like that for a while. But the problem with that is then there was yet another, you know, brand name or band name that I had to somehow market, which is already extremely difficult. And so nobody was listening to it. Like, it was like just, it disappeared into the ether at that point. So I switched it back. Now you can find it under Demonic Sweaters again. and all the streaming services. And the whole album is stuff like that, very rock, a lot of 90s-ish sounding stuff on there. That I'm a 90s. I'm a child. Well, I'm a child of the 70s, but I cut my teeth in the 90s, so to speak. Started playing drums. I started playing drums. I'm old. That's what I'm trying to say. I started playing drums in 1985, but I've been, in the 90s was really when I was like touring in bands and going around the country and stuff like that. And so that album is kind of a tribute to that kind of stuff, I would say. Black Thunder says, if you think it's good, it's got to be good because you're your own worst critic. Yeah, I mean, I am, I think, sometimes. Sometimes I just throw stuff out there that, maybe I should have spent a little more time on. But, I'm pretty, yeah, I mean, there is a time every now and then I'll record something where I'm just like, nope, and like I just, just sits in the folder forever. I have several songs like that. Because I record a lot of music. And so people ask me, one of the questions I get is, how do I record so much music and how do I produce so much music? I mean, there's a couple of things that, make that possible. Number one is I don't drink or party or do anything at all, like for recreation, like at all. Like there's nothing that I do. Like all that I do is music. So that's the main thing, just having the time because I don't spend it doing anything else. Number two, I have this thing where I am constantly wanting to hear new sounds. Like I get bored really easy of doing the same thing over and over again. Whereas like, some people who produce music try to stick to one sound. I don't do that. I go all over the map. And that also, not only does it, keep it interesting, but it also makes you produce a lot more content because you're not worried about sounding one specific way. I can do basically anything that I want, any sound. Some of it sounds like 90s rock, some of it sounds like 80s, some of it sounds like Devo, some sounds completely weird noise, some sounds like free jazz. Like it's literally all over the freaking map. Like it goes all over the place. So yeah, I mean that, and I try to just stay focused. I try to work on music every day, like a little bit. And having it being a drum instructor and a YouTuber as well, I'm constantly doing music-related stuff. So that's another way that my mind is always in music, like all the time. And one of the things that's actually really, like, I really love teaching because it makes me think about stuff that I have like students, kids that want to learn all these pop songs that I would never listen to otherwise. But I'm finding a whole new appreciation for them, actually. Like Justin Bieber and like the Kid Laroi and, even K-pop. There's a lot of K-pop artists that I really like now. And just getting interested in these songs that, these kids want to learn, I have to figure out the drum parts to them and stuff and then be able to teach them. And then it's given me a whole new appreciation. And a lot of them, like, are not even acoustic drums or electronic drums, like programmed drums. And then thankfully there's a huge scene online for people who transcribe all this stuff into drum notation, which is amazing. Like, I can't believe that so many people, spend their time creating these incredibly accurate drum scores, and just post them on the internet. Like, it's really amazing. It's something I've wanted to do, but I'm like, when am I going to find the time to do this? Most of the stuff I write for drums is like a couple of bars, just to have exercises and stuff like that. To sit there and listen to like a top 40 song and transcribe the whole thing is, it's a lot of work. But I guess you get faster at it the more you do it. But for me, it's like I'm wrestling with the software 90% of the time, like MuseScore and stuff like that, to try to figure out how to make it do write things the way I want. And there's other softwares out there too, but I keep trying different ones, and MuseScore still I think is the best one, but it's definitely not perfect. Anyway, I don't know what that rant was there. Hey, Cool Dude Banana, how's it going? And Mark Harrison, 90s Rock, thank you. Yeah, 90s Rock. Let's see, what can we do? All right, so Cool Dude Banana's here. I know he likes the song Portal, so why don't I go ahead and play that? What kit should I use? Let's see. probably the wide kit. I've been using this one a lot for a lot of songs today. What else we have? This one might work too. I haven't used this yet, so let's try this one. This one I called Mid J. I don't know what that means. Well, Justin for J, or J for Justin, and then mid was like, you know, because I felt like it was a lot of mid-range on this one. So I'll go ahead and try this one on here. I think it'll sound all right. So this is called Portal. It's also off of the Earth Asylum album. More grungy rock type stuff with vocals. Here we go. You don't have to worry now. Tarantulas will scurry down. But you don't have to worry now. The portal's open wide now. It takes a lot to get closed. Got what it takes now, get closed. You don't have to wait for me. I will be back honestly. Make sure to jump in before you can't make it through the floor. It takes a lot to get closed. Got what it takes now, get closed. You don't have to worry now. Tarantulas will scurry down. But you don't have to worry now. The portal's open wide now. All right, that was Portal off of Earth Asylum. And that snare is kind of weird in that one. But it was kind of cool. I don't know. Was that cool? I couldn't tell. Like, at first I was like, wow, that snare sounds really bizarre. But after I was playing it for a little while, I was like, it's kind of interesting. And that was one of the reasons why I selected that when I was programming the kit. Because I did think it sounded weird, but kind of weird in a good way, sort of. Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. It's got a very mid-rangey sound. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Maybe I need to bring it down a little bit and the toms up a little bit, possibly. Let's see. Let's go into Instrument and then Edit. Let's bring this up just a hair. This one too. Bring down the snare just a hair. Yeah, that's cool. I love that kick drum. That's a massive sounding kick drum. I can't do 6/6 Samus. Let me see. Almost. Cody Walls says, I've played piano and guitar since I was a kid. Started teaching myself drums about 6 months ago. When I just sit down, I feel like I keep falling into the same groove pattern. Well, that does happen, and it happens to me too. Couple of ways out of that. One is just watch a lesson, on YouTube, or take lessons. There's plenty of them on YouTube. I have some. Other drummers have them. Watch a lesson. Figure out a song. Just pick a song. First off, do you know how to read? If you don't know how to read, learn to read. Reading drums is not difficult. A lot of people are intimidated by that. They feel like it's going to be really hard. But ask Cool Dude Banana. It's not very hard. He knows. Reading drums is way easier than reading like any other instrument, because you don't have to worry about melody. The only thing you're concerned with is rhythms. And so reading rhythms and musical notation is actually quite simple. It's basically like a grid for the most part. And that can help, because then you can download, songs from the internet, or, grooves, and just, learn them, just by looking at a sheet of paper. You don't have to worry about, watching a video or like anything like that. You can use books. All that stuff really helps. I have a ton of drum books. And I think, since I started teaching, I have gotten way more into buying drum books. And I like them for myself. I'm like, students will ask me about a song, and I'm like, okay, I'll see if I can find that, and pick up a book. And then I'm like, this is great, because it's got all this stuff. It makes me think differently than I would, if I were just doing stuff on my own. The other thing is, like, turn on a metronome too.
1, 2, 3,
and start playing to a metronome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that always helps, to keep yourself locked into a time, and like just try to work out fills and stuff like that when you're playing to a metronome. And that's what's great. One of the things that's great about electronic drums is you have a metronome built in right there, and it's got, especially the Roland ones the Elisa's ones are actually pretty good too. The metronomes, they have a lot of, you can change the subdivisions, you can change the time signatures. They have coaching features. All that stuff is extremely useful. So just use it. I constantly force my students to play to a metronome, and they hate me when I do it. Like, oh no, not the metronome. But, once they do it for a while, they really, really appreciate it, and it really helps. Like, it definitely helps. And actually, Justin from 65 Drums, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that dude has seriously improved his drumming in the past, like, probably year. Like, he sounds awesome now. Not that he was bad before, but he just, was kind of, he's definitely made a big improvement. And he knows he has, too. Like, and people were asking him, I read a comment, like, how he's gotten, people were like, how did you get so much better? And he's like, well, I just started practicing to a metronome. There you go. There's the proof. It didn't even take him that long, too. Like, you watch his demos now, and, like, the past few that he's done, starting at the songs that he plays in the beginning of the tracks always sound just killer. Like, he's just really, really just sounds good now. So metronomes definitely help. What else? Just try to learn new stuff. Use a metronome. Learn how to read. And reading, like I said, is not hard. You can figure it out. I can teach. When I have students, new students, and they don't know how to read, I'm like, I can teach you how to read in a single lesson. It's not difficult. And most, 99% of them get it. Oh, another thing is, have you ever heard of melodics? Melodics, if you have electronic drums, melodics is very cool. I use it as well for teaching. It's basically it's like a fancy metronome, that has music. And what it does is it has these songs, and it scrolls like dots by on this grid, and you have to play when the dot hits the line, and it really, it improves timing and gives you like different chops and stuff like that, and has a ton of music to play to. My only criticism of it is it doesn't have real musical notation, and I think that really sucks. Like, it really should. Like, it should do everything that it does and then have the option to turn on actual drum notation, because as it is right now, like, this is why I don't use it all the time. Like, I only use it for like, part of the last 15 minutes of the lesson a lot of times, because I don't want students and kids to think this is how drum notation is written. It's basically like a MIDI grid. And even though it's kind of similar, it's not exactly the same. But it is a very, very cool tool and useful tool, especially if you struggle with timing. It's very, very helpful to improve your timing, I think, and especially with younger students. I noticed a great improvement on a couple of students who were struggling, to playing just to the metronome, but once we started using melodics, they started getting a lot better. Anyway, let's do a couple more. This has been a good stream. It's going on pretty long, but I'm ready to keep going. Let's see what else we've got. How about, this is another fan favorite, You're Not Really You. So let's see, which kit can I use in this one? Will this work? That one's too dry. Oh, I know. Deep J, that one will work. Okay, so here we go. This is called You're Not Really You, and it's off of 333. All right, that was You're Not Really You off of 333. And I think I need to program a different kit for that one. It sounded all right, but probably use something a little less dry for that song. But still, like I said, it's the first time using this module, and I only was able to program a few kits into it. So using what I have, let's play a couple more. I do have to go to the bathroom, so maybe I'll take a little break if you guys can hold on for a minute. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Just bear with me. Should I play some music? Can I do that? Actually, no, I'm just going to go. It's too much pain in the butt, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and thanks for holding on, everybody. Anybody have any comments, questions? Feel free to post in the chat. I ran out and grabbed myself a sparkling water to drink. Let's see what this is. Grapefruit, Kirkland brand. Kirkland. Costco, if you don't know that. Most of you, I'm sure, do. Costco is really awesome. I mean, even though I hate going there, but I love what we get from there. I just hate going there because it's like it's like a hellscape in Brooklyn. It's like, I mean, if you don't live in this part of the country or the world, Brooklyn or New York City in general. Hold on, let me just take a drink of this. I'm parched. It's a different way of life here. Excuse me. There's a lot of people. And when you go to a place like Costco, it's like a free-for-all. Like, I mean, people are out for blood. Like, they're just like, forget it. When COVID was like first hitting, and like the whole paper, like toilet paper thing, and oh man, Costco was like, we went there a couple of times and it was like a nightmare. But it's generally a nightmare. It's just so crowded. But now people don't even care. Like, I mean, it's funny. Like, you see on the news, the difference between reality and how they how they portray things on the news, or like in general, like talking about like New York City in particular. Like how they're like, oh, New York City's so strict about the COVID regulations and all this stuff, and like on paper, yes, but in practice, that's a different story altogether. Like, you go to Costco, people are right up in your shit. Like, they're just right next to you, breathing all over you. Nobody's wearing a mask full. Like, they have the mask, but like very few people are pulling it up over their nose, and like, it's just, I don't know. Restaurants are packed. Like, nobody wears a mask in a restaurant, even though you have to have the vaccine card. But which I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. I got the original shots, but I don't think I'm gonna get the booster unless I have to, to go to work. That's like because I don't know. I feel like I don't want to get in this cycle where I'm like injecting myself with, vaccines every 6 months. I don't want to do that. I think one's good. I had COVID too, so I think that should be good. Anyway, we'll see. If I'm forced to do it to continue to teach, then I will, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. I don't think it will. I don't think they're going to mandate the booster shots, hopefully. Anyway, for too many people, mask equals chin strap, says Papa Frampton. Yeah, totally. I wear them, but, I have to wear it all day, too, when I'm teaching, at school. And, it's annoying, but, whatever. We have to do it for the time being. But the thing that drives me crazy, I not to get into all this, but it's just really frustrating how hard it is to get, like, real information and, like, how hard it is to know who's actually telling truth. Because it seems like nobody is. Like, when you really look into everything, it's kind of like, you can find, like, contradicting information into everything. Like, every single thing. Like, so it's kind of like, I guess that's like the post-truth, the post-truth thing. It's, generation or movement or whatever it is. Like, we're all kind of like, this person says this, and then this person says that, and then this person said this before, and then it changed, and now it's this, and like, so it's just kind of like, you kind of got to go by your instinct, really, is like pretty much it. Anyway, that's enough about that. I try not to get into too much of that stuff and keep it light here, keep it about the music. And so in general, how am I doing? I'm good, thankfully. It's like me and just about everybody in my family has had COVID already. And not everybody. My mom never got it, amazingly, thankfully. But my dad got it. My stepmom got it. I got it. Victor got it. My sister never got it either. She never got it. But, a lot of people. And I was sick. I've talked about this before. I was sick, especially in the beginning. And the main thing was I completely lost my sense of smell, like completely. It was completely gone. I could be holding bleach under my nose and nothing, like absolutely nothing. It was really weird. Like, I've never experienced that before in my life. And that lasted about 2 weeks, and then it slowly started to come back. And then, the first few days, I felt really achy and really tired and had a bad headache. But, after like the first few days, I was mostly just really tired and couldn't smell. And then, after that, I started to get better. And the smell was like a gradual thing, like, to come back. That was like actually kind of scary because you don't know, like, it would suck if it was gone forever. Like, it's one of those things where it doesn't seem like a major thing, like when you hear about it. But when it actually happens and you can't smell anything, it really sucks. It's like you lose one of your senses, So, like, it's, I love coffee, and, like, nothing tasted like anything either because smell is, like 85% of your taste, basically. So, like, I love coffee, and I couldn't even smell the morning coffee. It was really bad. But, so hopefully, we'll be all right with this stuff. But overall, I think New York has fared pretty well considering what a giant city it is, and how many people there are here. Again, it's different than what you hear on the TV and the news and stuff. They made it sound like New York was like this just awful, like, terrifying place. But it wasn't really. In the beginning, yes, it was scary. Everybody was kind of freaking out in the beginning. Like, you'd go outside and, like, everybody had plastic shields everywhere. Like, everybody stayed away from everybody. But like I said, after, like, about a couple of months, everybody's like, fuck it. They're just like, there are people, though, like, there's the deli next to my building. Those guys in there never wore masks. Still don't. Never did. The entire time. And there's also a Korean grocery store up the street. Old lady works there. Never wore a mask the entire time. And still doesn't. And she's been fine. and so have like all the guys in these delis. So some people they're just like, nope, not doing that, and they just don't do it. And like, so, and the thing is though, is like a lot of the people, I think the difference between New Yorkers and other people in other places is New Yorkers, like they'll be like, nope, not doing it, and that's it. Like they don't talk about it. They're like not up in arms about, trying to convince other people. They're just like, I'm not doing it, and then that's it, and they just don't do it, and then they just never talk about it. I don't know. It's strange. It's a different type of people in New York City. They're hardened because it's a tough city. Glad to hear you're well for sure, says Papa Frampton. I have a very strongly pronounced sense of smell. I smell stuff other people and younger people can't even smell. To lose it would be very weird for sure. Yeah, I do too. I have a giant nose, and like that actually makes. Well, I think it's not as good as it used to be though since that. But I don't know. Maybe it is. It's hard to tell. And every now and then, some days I'm like I'll be like, oh, can I smell? Like I'll freak out and think that I'm not smelling, but then I'll test it with like coffee or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I can. Anyway, let's play another song or two and then wrap this up. How about, what can we do? Sunset Park. That's a fun one. So that one, okay, this is a good kit to use for that. And actually, I practiced this one with this kit, so I know it sounds pretty good. So this one's an older one, well, a few years old now. It's off the album Turn of the Scrocked, first song on Turn of the Scrocked, and this one's a lot of fun to play. It's difficult, so hopefully I don't screw it up. So here we go. This is called Sunset Park. Oh, that is a tough one to play. Couple little screw ups in there. That one's, I don't know why that one's so hard for me. Well, I know why, because it's like, it's just a tough feel, you know, because it's not super fast. It's kind of slow. And most drummers know that it's actually a lot harder to play slow sometimes than it is fast, especially when you're doing kind of an odd feel like that, because what's happening there is you have to do the snare drum, start with the right hand the first time and the left hand the second time. So basically what I mean by that, because it's in like 3/4, so the groove is like, so right the first time, right, left, right. And then coming out of that and going into that other part, I tend to screw up a lot. There's a fill I did on the original recording that I never quite get right, because I think I overthink it. But it's like I'm doing that groove. And then see, I already screwed up. What do I do? Something like that, but I never quite get it exactly how I did on the original recording, because I do this crash and then I do this kind of slow snare build-up. Again, I really haven't practiced that one too many times either, though. So that would help as well. But all in all, that wasn't terrible. I've played it worse. All right, let's do one more and then call it a day. Let's do, or maybe two more. Let's do one more new one and then one old one. So let's see, how about, let's try Cybot. And I think this kit should work in there. All right, let's do Cybot. This is off of the new album, Happy 99. And here we go. Or wait, do I want to do that? Or let's do, here, let's do, how about Nixum? Okay, because I know that one I've gotten some good comments on too. So here we go. Let's do Nixum, and I think this same kit should work in there. And we'll see if I can play this. I haven't even practiced this one with this drum set yet. So here we go. right. Yeah, that kit sounded pretty good, like accurate in there to the one that I used on the TD-6. Yeah. So that was called Nexum or Nixum. I don't even know how to pronounce my own song titles. But it is a name of a virus. That whole album, Happy 99, computer virus. The whole album, Happy 99, is named after computer viruses. Every song on it, including the actual name Happy 99. That was a computer virus in the late 90s. So, one more song. Let's do it. What do we have left here? I was going to do another old one. Let's do another rocker. This is going to be... How about... Well, I almost feel like I have to do Captain Flange. I always play that one. So let's go ahead and do it. Captain Flange is a fun one to play. Another fan favorite. Here we go. Captain Flange off of the 2080s. Where the hell is it? I need to find it here. There it is. Okay. Here we go. All right, everybody, that's going to be all for this live stream. That was Captain Flange off the 2080s. And thanks for hanging out with me, everybody, today. That was a lot of fun. Had fun playing the new TD-11 module here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully my chat is still working. I haven't seen any chats there for a little while, but maybe you guys are just being silent. Anyway, that was great fun. Like I said, be sure to follow, subscribe, follow. If you're on Facebook, follow. I don't even know if you can see this if you're not following me already. Follow me on Spotify. That's what I'm looking for. There's a link there in the chat. Follow Demonic Sweaters or on Apple Music. I'm trying to get me up to, I have like 140 followers on Spotify right now. Let's get me to 200 if you guys can help me out there. Share the live stream with somebody you know that you think might like what I'm doing here, and other drummers, musicians in general. What else? Check out anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. And, have a great holiday. Hopefully everybody had a good, if you're in the U.S., had a good Thanksgiving. And going to have a good holidays coming up. I'll be back again pretty soon. I don't know if I'll be streaming next week, but maybe. I haven't decided yet. My birthday's coming up here pretty soon. So, we'll see. But there'll be videos regardless. So, check out the videos. And I got nothing else to say. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you guys really soon. Take care.